All right, I did 60 slides, so buckle up. And I finished this, again, didn't learn my lesson from last time. I finished it like 3 hours ago. All right, I'm not good at titles, so I made it Taking Back Privacy. I think the website and the announcement both have different titles. You'll figure out what it's about. It's about privacy. Who am I? I guess I'll jump over. I'm Collin Caves. I like going to concerts. I gotta be in the pit. I like racing. I like race cars. Both of my race cars are broke right now, so I was gonna bike here, but it's thunderstorming, so I had to bum a ride from a friend. I like really big brats, and I like my pets. And my wife, but she didn't want to be in this, so. And then I got a little home lab up there. All right. I'm so much better at presenting when it's interactive. So if you have questions or you just want to like shout stuff, totally good for it. Love it. Yes. That is a good question. Mayonnaise is not an instrument either. So data privacy, why do I choose to take back? I don't know. It's a tough question because it feels like privacy is just like a losing battle. But our privacy, our data is incredibly valuable. I don't have the statistics. I had them at one point, but I've been building this for like 3 months and I lost it. Our data, there's a reason Google and Meta and Microsoft are some of the most expensive companies in the world. They are making money off of our data. So why aren't we? Why don't we have control of our own data? I don't know. I'm not here to get into that. I'm just trying to take it back. It's our human right. I truly believe that. I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not going to get into legislation. This is just what can we do for ourselves? It's my favorite topic at parties. People really like to hear what I have to say about privacy and why you should be using Signal and not WhatsApp. You'll make a lot of really good friends. I love supporting the good for the community projects or just community projects in general. Enshittification is inevitable. I'm not saying that open source projects can't suffer from that, but you have a little bit more control of it. You have a little bit more control when it's in your own hands to make these decisions rather than Gmail just changing the logo and now you can't find it on your fucking phone. And then it's just good real world experience. If you have a home lab, this isn't a home lab talk, but if you're doing this stuff, it actually just translates into the real world. It is real experience. So I have a few quotes. One of my friends said this when I was complaining about generative AI. I'm not a big fan of generative AI. I have thoughts about it. But he said, why do you care so much anyway? They already have everything. It's dumb to care. My response is, get the fuck out of here with that. It's just a bad take. I do use generative AI. I think you're dumb not to. It really puts you with the game in technology in general, but I disagree with a lot of the fundamental things generative AI, I cannot say it. Gen AI is built on, plagiarizes art. It is common to just mistrust it or trust misinformation. It's just scraping information like crazy. And on that, big props to Cloudflare for what they've done recently. I don't know if anyone heard. I'll bring that up a few times, but Cloudflare caught some heat in the stock market. I think they came back, but they have made it default for new websites, new things to be hosted out of Cloudflare that you are opt-in. I'm going to say this wrong. AI bots cannot scrape you by default. Great thing. Awesome. Bots in general, probably. I don't know. I didn't read too far into it. And then this is another quote. You've probably all heard this. If the service is free, you're probably the product, not the customer. I don't know who said that. I hear it all the time. Totally true. That plays into all this. So, related topics in my feed. This is crazy because I've been developing this talk for a few months. I actually just put the slides together 2 days ago, or within the last 2 days. But I don't know if it's a product of this is gaining traction or if it's a product of loss of data privacy and I'm seeing it more. That's kind of just more fuel for the fire. But like even PewDiePie is talking about it, like moving to Linux, which is like that's really cool. I don't watch PewDiePie, but I mean I don't know if you've seen any of his recent videos. He's on about all this. John Oliver went on about AI slop. I think that's really funny because we all know about that in security already. And then it's also just don't put your eggs in one basket. If you use services, if you use something like Google, you're just like, it's easy to accept risk, accept loss that you are giving up this data. But you can make it a little bit harder for them. That's my opinion. Don't use the same email product that you host your Google Docs at, or your document services out of. I'm doing this on Google Docs, by the way, so fair warning. It's still a good product, and I've accepted the risk. All right, so everyone loves a good score. I thought this would be fun. I bounced back and forth with how I wanted to present some of these services, some of these self-hosting, services that I host, without it just being mundane data. I decided a score of 50. I have like 15 or 16 of these, so buckle up. We'll see where this goes. I don't know if this is going to be fun, but we're going to try. So I think the low barrier of entry stuff, browser. I gave browser. Actually, after this one, I'm going to jump ahead. I'm going to say like the next one, and I want people to guess what they think the overall score might be. Because these are my opinions. But browser, low barrier of entry. The higher the score, the less the cost, the less the difficulty, the more the effectiveness, and the better the conversation starter. Yes. The range, what do you mean? Like, out of 15, so higher the number, the lower I know it's really confusing. I'm not great at this. But the higher the score, the better it is. So browser, it theoretically, unless you're like you're like throwing out money for island.io, not a throw. I do not use them. It's just a paid browser service, right? Should be free. I'm of the opinion that there's no trusted browser, but there are better ones than others. So 15, difficulty to change your browser. I mean, it's not really that hard. And then effectiveness, I think it's pretty effective. If you move to like maybe Brave or Firefox, changed their language recently, still probably a better decision over like Chrome or Edge. But and then party conversation starter. No one gives a shit what browser you use. They don't. So it's pretty low. He uses Firefox. What do you think about Firefox's language change? Doesn't care. Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, question. That's your opinion, man. He only uses Edge. Cool. Microsoft threw it in your face and you accepted it. The next one is search engine. I can't see the score from here, but do we have any ideas on search engine? This is my opinions, by the way. This is not expert opinions. 10? 10 total? 10 for cost. 37 for total. We're going... wait. What am I at? Was I already on it? I don't know what's happening. 38. Cost. It doesn't cost anything for search engine, right? I don't know why you said 10. Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm not self-hosting a search engine. Is that a possibility? Because I will. All right. I'm learning things. This is why you do this. Get back to me on that because I'm interested. Difficulty, not hard. Literally just drop down in your Chrome or Edge browser which search engine you want to use, and you can change it. Effectiveness, I don't know, it's middle ballpark. Party conversation starter, again, no one cares that you use DuckDuckGo. Stop talking about it. I didn't give you guys a chance on this one. That's fine. End-to-end messaging app, Signal. I do not count. I will die on this hill. You can have a drunk rant with me later on it. WhatsApp is not end-to-end. I'll fight. It's owned by Meta. I don't care. Cost doesn't cost you anything. I don't think there's paid services for Signal. I don't know. Difficulty, I only didn't give it a 15 because like good luck getting your friends and family to use Signal. It's not going to happen. Effectiveness, down the middle of the road. Conversation starter, I only gave it a 4. Controversial, because this is the only chance you're going to actually get to talk to people when you're at a party, because no one's using Signal. So this is your chance to actually talk to people. No one else uses it. Trusted VPN provider. I keep forgetting I'm going to ask you guys the next one. I'll do it next time, I promise. 40 out of 50. So this is like, I don't know what VPNs people are out there using. When I say trusted, I'm talking about like Mulvad or maybe like Proton or whatever the trusted, those are the two that I would trust. I don't know what other ones people trust. Not the ones that you see your favorite YouTuber marketing. If their marketing budget is that big, you can assume where the money is going. It's not going in R&D. Cost, not a perfect 15 because you do have to pay for it. Don't go get a free VPN provider. Absolutely gonna sell your data. Don't? Yeah, do not. Yeah. Like 100% chance they're taking your data and they're selling it. That is all guaranteed. That's with most of these free products. Difficulty wasn't a perfect 15 because I don't think my grandma could figure this out, but probably wouldn't be too hard. I don't know. Effectiveness, it's pretty effective. A VPN is pretty effective. You can take that data away from a lot of other companies if you have a trusted VPN provider that's not logging. And then again, no one really cares what VPN you're using. Just use a good one. What do we have next? We have Linux. Daily in Linux. Does anyone have an opinion? 50? 49? Not Arch, by the way. We're just talking normies, right? All right. 39. Again, these are my opinions. Cost, it doesn't cost you anything. That's the beauty of Linux, unless you're a weirdo that's running Red Hat at home. That's weird. I didn't give it a higher difficulty or a better score for difficulty because I love using Linux. I use Linux at home. This laptop's not on Linux, but this laptop sits in the garage 6 months out of the year, and it's just whatever's on it is on it. But you can't, anyone that uses Linux knows, you can't deny the fact that some things are more difficult. If you want to play games, it's getting better. It's still more difficult. Everything's a little bit more challenging. It's just not straightforward because it's not the leading product in the market. It is pretty effective, though, because you're not just actively giving data to Microsoft at every click you do. And great conversation starter, maybe. I don't know. One, if it's Arch. No one wants to hear it if it's Arch. Kyle. Talking about Kyle specifically. The next one is Trusted Password Manager Services. So not trying to think of the crappy ones. What was it, 1Pass that's leaked 5 LastPass? Yeah, so I don't count them. Again, big marketing budget. You hear about them from all of your favorite YouTubers. They probably were advertising at the Super Bowl. I'm talking about again, Proton or Bitwarden or KeyPass. Yeah, KeyPass is just straight up open source, right? Dashlane, maybe. I like Dashlane. I don't know how big their marketing is. I don't know what they're doing with the data. Do we have score ideas? I'm gonna get sponsored by somebody. I did 31. Password manager isn't really privacy focused. That was a trick question. Gotcha. But you should still run it. If you're looking for privacy specific, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone has debates here. Password managers are great, not privacy driven. I won't even dive too much further into it, other than the party conversation starter. Who talks about their? I don't even know what my closest friends use for password managers. So, anyone want to share? Bitwarden? So whenever someone tells me what password manager they're using, it's always Bitwarden. So you guys are the Arch, by the way, of password managers. I'm also using Bitwarden. I'm self-hosting it, by the way. The next one is Trusted Cloud Storage Service. This is really small on my screen. Trusted Cloud Storage. So not Google Drive, not OneDrive, not the companies that are going to sell your data. Maybe, who? Spider O? Spider O, never heard of them. I trust what Rickson says. So, again, I'm not throwing Proton. I just use Proton. Proton's a good example, I think. I heard some other ones, sorry. Backblaze, that's a good one. Yeah, so like, again, not huge marketing budget, not shoving it down your throat, not offering you free products. You gotta pay to take back your privacy. That's kind of the idea here. Again, no one cares what, wait, did I move? I didn't move. I'm sorry. I'm a mess. I was supposed to do this later. I'm a mess. I'm not ready. So Trusted Cloud Storage, I gave it a 37. It's middle of the road cost. I don't know. It's pretty effective. You're not putting your safe data in the hands of someone who's going to scrape through it and sell it off. Also, again, not a really interesting conversation starter. I don't really care that you use Backblaze or Spider O. Sorry, Rickson. And I don't know. Your money could be better somewhere else if you're really trying to dive in and save some privacy. Still super important. The next one, Trusted Email Service. This could be hot. Opinions? Email services? 49. What was the conversation starter? A 10 for conversation starter. Trusted Email Service. I had a 38. I think it's a pretty high conversation starter. I think if someone walked up to me and was like, oh yeah, I host my own email, I'd be like, you're a fucking psycho. Yeah. All right. So I actually have a comment about that. I recently moved to Proton. He said I couldn't get people to talk to you on, or you couldn't get people to talk to you on Signal. I believe that. I'll fight to that. He made the comment about email services. Absolutely true. So story. I moved to Proton recently under my own domain name, and it's been going great. And then out of nowhere, I've been trying to email people, and it's been getting denied for spam. So that's what you get for trying to be private. And I'm sure it only gets worse when you host it out of your own house. It is a benefit if they cannot talk to you. I do not want to talk to people over email. Let email die. I didn't hear what he said, but he yelled really loud. Gateway. I heard gateway. Cloudflare email gateway. We had a long conversation about this the other day, and I don't remember what we came to. But cost, I don't know, 2/3 up the chain. It's not that expensive. You're not just... I don't know what Gmail and are you guys still using Yahoo? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't even think they know that they can sell data because they're just syncing. So maybe Yahoo's not a bad example, but decent conversation starter because, again, I don't know. You're not going to be able to talk to anybody outside of it. The next one was self-hosted password managers. So not a service, now you're self-hosting it. KeyPass, Vault Warden, I think those are the only two. If you're using something else and there's some random thing on GitHub, it might be like North Korean code. That sounds really complicated. Thoughts? I can't see the number, so this will be a surprise to me. This is a password manager. Remember my opinion on the last password manager. 31. Low conversation starter. I don't care that you're running Vault Warden in your house. Good for you. It's pretty cool. It's not a privacy thing. Well, that's debatable. It's coming back to my head. Yeah. Yes. I agree with that. And I think because I own my own domain and I do that through there, I forget about that. What Cooper brought up is you can set email aliases, unique, a username is a password if an adversary doesn't know it. So you can use a password manager to effectively anonymize your data. So there is some pros to that. I guess with that being said, I would raise the effectiveness a little bit of both of the password managers. I don't remember if I have slides on it. I'll get into that with owning a domain later, but it's the same idea. You're just trying to anonymize your data with all the services you're using. And then you can know who sells your data because you'll get an email to yahoo@yourdomain.com. You knew that Yahoo sold your data, which they're not going to do because they don't know that they can do that. Self-hosted photo storage. I don't even think people do this. I think I'm one of the one-offs that do this. Yeah? You do it? HexCloud? Oh, NextCloud. Okay. I'll talk about NextCloud, but I don't use NextCloud. Do we have opinions on photo storage? I'm talking about competitors to Google Photos or iCloud, stuff like that. You guys just put your photos in there? Oh, yeah, NFS. Let's just use NFS, yeah. So, self-hosted image is what I use. I thought I had it on the thing, but image is what I use. I'll talk more about it later. It's insane. I think it's one of the coolest self-hosting things I have. I think self-hosted photo storage is, 36. I feel like that's a pretty good number. It's pretty effective. You're not just giving your photos over to Google. You're not just photos can be sensitive to people. It's got a lot of family stuff in there. It's got a lot of got a lot of, for me, broken cars. So I might get car part advertisement. The difficulty is a lot harder on stuff like this, I think. It's really easy to just have your phone back up to photos and forget about it. When you do stuff like this, you really got to think about backups because it's important data. The next one, self-hosted cloud storage. I am factoring electricity and hardware costs into this. That's why the cost on this was really high. I don't know why I did that. Bring the cost score down just a touch, but this all can be hosted on Megalite hardware, so it's not really that big of a deal anyway. Sorry, I forgot what it was on. Oh, self-hosted cloud storage for the next one. Thoughts? I like self-hosted cloud storage. No? 35. You win a prize. I have a car charger for you to take home. If you have set up Nextcloud before, it is so cool once it's done. It's a fucking nightmare to get set up. I had so much trouble getting it set up. And my experience was on Unraid through Docker containers with an outside SQL database. It was hell to get up and running. Once it was up and running, it's been really stable. But getting there made me want to die. And it's a great conversation starter. I don't remember, what did I say? I have notes here. The notes don't talk about why I put a 5 here. But I'm going to talk to Rickard about it later just to solidify my opinion that it was a 5. The next one, PSA. Nextcloud, yes. So this is funny because I'm using Google Slides right now. Nextcloud does have document collaboration. I tried to get it to work. I hated it. I don't know if it was just me. I do still admittedly use Google Suite. I think it's a great free product. It's risk I'm willing to take. Graphene OS. I didn't give you guys a chance. Cost, nothing. Other than if you don't own a Pixel, you have to have a Pixel for Graphene. I took Lineage out because I've been given some information lately that Graphene is so much better than Lineage. Difficulty, I'll give the reason as to why, because I have not done this. This was information pulled from another friend. Effectiveness, absolute 15. Party conversation starter, absolute. It's a 5 out of 5. Because if you're walking around with a Pixel and you just have fucking, virtual machines on your phone to isolate Google Maps, that's pretty cool. If it's working for you, that's even cooler. So I don't think you can read this. I can't read this. But breaking news, Kyle swears. I don't think you guys know Kyle. Kyle used to go to SecDSM and then he moved halfway across the world. He uses graphene on a regular basis, and he gave me a bunch of information that I cannot read up here, and I didn't plan for this, but he said graphene was really easy to set up. It solved his Google Maps problem, which Lineage did not, so he can like isolate it, and he said it was really easy to set up. So check out graphene if you got a pixel laying around, because that was one of the highest scoring ones on here. Self-hosted backup solution. All right, this is a big one. I think I talked about this in the last month, but having like on-site hard drives or like encrypting and shipping stuff up to Google Drive, that's kind of where I'm getting at here. No one wants to hear about that. I gave a talk about it, and I think everyone was ready to leave and get some more drinks. Expensive, difficult, not mega effective to back up locally. This was just one I thought I'd toss in. The next one is hosting your own generative AI. Is there opinions on generative AI? Because I hate it. 26 is what I had. Its effectiveness is really high, but have you guys seen the price of graphics cards? Like, I have a middle of the range graphics card, and I can't even come close to what like ChatGPT is putting out. It's not super difficult. It's not super easy. It's also an okay party conversation starter. If someone came up to me after this talk, yeah. Yes, I have played with DeepSeek. It's better than the other models. It's still, it just doesn't compete. It's there, you just gotta have the hardware, and the hardware's expensive. And if someone came up to me after this talk and was like, I'm running, latest model, I have a phone app, I have a web app that I can use it very quickly, very easily, just like what, Copilot or Gemini are putting out. I'm interested to see it. I still know at the end of the day, you have to have the hardware to produce it, which I'm just not willing to fork up right now. It's something I want, but they're expensive, and Microsoft data centers and Google data centers are buying all of the chips up, so I'm not going to be there. And then this is my favorite one, becoming, a Luddite, a technophobe, going completely offline. This is a perfect 50 out of 50. It's a great party conversation starter. If you show up to SecDSM and you didn't even know Discord was a thing, people are going to be interested in you. You're just going to be an interesting person. This is the only way you're probably going to converse with people also. So, but I mean, maybe by the middle of the night, you're going to see everyone with their phones and their computers out. You're going to get a little bit paranoid. You're probably going to take off early due to the anxiety of your data being scraped. So it's going to change your life. Don't do this. But if you want perfect privacy, move to the middle of Montana and drop all technology. So that's the end of all those. It got a little dry towards the end, but here's my efforts. I have some trusted services, I have some self-hosted services, and I have some weaknesses that I haven't solved for yet. But, I'm not paid to do this. This is just a hobby that I'm trying to work on. So, how I choose my trusted services. Again, going back to their marketing budget. If your favorite YouTubers are pushing the service you use, question it a little bit. Their budget's going into marketing, not R&D. They're selling your data. Or they're just going to leak your data if they're not selling it. What's their exposure history? I have some great topics related to that. Molvad. The reason I will trust Molvad until they give me a reason not to is they actually had, I'm going to get the story wrong, you can go look it up, but I think the Swiss government came knocking on their door, they asked for data, they could prove to their customers that they couldn't give them anything. They just couldn't give it to them. Molvad's got my money. You can also just pay cash. You can envelope cash to Molvad, and then they put credit on your account. That's just cool. No other service does that. What's their cost? Does it fit my needs? So Proton Mail, recent big fan of Proton Mail. I like it. I almost went to M365 for ulterior motives, but it wasn't really privacy focused enough for me. So a alleged questionable CEO. I keep hearing this from people, and I keep telling people I don't want to know because I really like the product. Apparently, he's a real asshole. I don't know that though, so I'm just hearing what I shouldn't be spitting that out, but that's what I've heard from people. Wait, am I? Yeah, I can't really see this. Hold on. Why is it so small? Whatever. Give up. I lost my screen over here, so I'm reading. Cost $5 to $15 a month. I think I pay like $8. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot much more to say about Proton Mail. It's a great service. You'll have trouble sending and you won't have trouble receiving. You'll have trouble sending. I own a domain that I host it through. Yes, question. Yes, the free, I don't. Yeah, space and custom names. So I know that I started using Proton Mail's individual essentials package. It was like $5 a month. But I found very quickly I have stuff in my home lab that I want to be able to make SMTP connections with. I want to send mail. Couldn't do it, so I moved to business mail essentials. So that's where I landed. I think most people could probably get away with the free tier. I don't think the free tier supports domain names, which I'll get into domain names if you like technology, you like IT, you like cybersecurity. Owning your own domain name for email is like a must. It's so cool. It's also just a cool flex to like send companies email me at Costco@mydomain.com, and then they question everything. Yeah, I don't know. Email. It's email. Molvad. I just talked a bunch about Molvad, so I won't go super into it, but Molvad's marketing, I don't see a lot of Molvad marketing. Oddly enough, though, I went to New York again last May, and billboards, Times Square, subways, everywhere they had Molvad, and I don't know why. I don't know what was going on in May of last year, but Molvad was all over NYC. That's the only time I've ever seen them marketed. They've, again, proven that they can't give logs if they wanted to. Cost is more than, the crap VPNs, but $5 a month gets you a great speed, solid WireGuard connection that you can attach to your entire network if you want to. You don't have to just keep it on a client. And you get exactly what you pay for, a good, trusted VPN. And I think that leads me then to self-hosting. So self-hosting is a rabbit hole. This is not a home lab talk, so don't confuse it. This is just privacy-driven stuff. Vault Warden, I do use Vault Warden. I used to use KeePass. KeePass was it was cool because, I don't know, it was an open source project. Vault Warden is so much more convenient. You can plug it straight into your browsers. You got extensions. Yeah, question. Google Password Manager. No, thank you. No Edge Password Manager either. I don't want it. Stop asking. I'll use my Bitwarden. And same with my iPhone. My iPhone asks me all the time to store passwords. Bitwarden's there for a reason. I self-host it. It's got great mobile apps. It's got great extensions. It's got, it's completely free if you self-host it. You could put it on a Pi. It's really light. And don't use LastPass. I think we've had enough warnings that LastPass is going to lose our data. Yeah. It's not a reason that I dislike it. It's just annoying that when I'm on my phone and I want to log in with Bitwarden, the iPhone one will pop up in front of it, and it drives me nuts. So I dislike it for that reason. I don't know if there's anything wrong with it. I'm also just of the opinion Apple's probably middle of the road for me. I think they've proven in okay scenarios that they'll hold data, they'll not give it up. I don't need to give them my data. I'm not going to give them my data because I don't trust what they're going to do with it in the future. Apple's pretty good with making money off of data. Easy to back up, completely open source. Wait, is it? I don't know if that's true. Is it open source? It is? Vault Warden is, not Bitwarden. But Bitwarden is kind enough to have the API accessible. I don't know. I'm not that smart. And then something I discovered with my Vault Warden is I tested this as so heavy nerd stuff. I tested DR in my home lab. I shut my Vault Warden down to see what would happen if I couldn't access it. My clients actually hold previous connected data, so I don't know if that's a security flaw or if that's a great feature. I like it. I like that it's there because I don't have 6 nines of uptime in my basement. And then I just have some screenshots of my implementation of Vault Warden. This is the web. I mean, you can't do anything with the passwords, but I'm not going to show them to you because I won't show you the username or whether to. Yeah. What? Are you just saying stuff? I want you to talk about that during your talk. All right. I trust all extensions, by the way. They give reports. Pretty cool. If you guys care about reports. It at least helped me identify where I left all of my KeyPass trash passwords of like password 1. And then, oh yeah, just so I have like a friend on it that uses it, and you have some admin controls. It's pretty cool. And it's all in my house. Nextcloud. If you haven't tried to stand up Nextcloud before, it's a really great experience. Work experience. It's not a great personal experience. You'll probably start drinking if you don't currently drink. It's completely free. It's a good Google Cloud competitor. And honestly, like once I had it up, it's insanely stable. I do all my note keeping through it. Is it open source? I put this on here very confidently. It's not, right? Yes? It is? Yeah. So it is open source. Yeah, that's right. Own cloud. That's where it came from, because I remember that now. So it's kind of like a Red Hat experience, right? You got a supported version of an open source product. Solid mobile apps. I've never had an issue with the mobile apps. Supports two-factor. Supports decent backup solutions. And I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, I read this a long time ago. I'm pretty sure the German government uses it, and it's somewhere in the German government, which is pretty cool. Here's just some quick pictures of what it kind of looks like to use it. That's right. You don't have to be any more rude, Micah. It's okay. And yeah, so my favorite benefit of Nextcloud is I try different distributions at home. Even this laptop, my Steam Deck as well. You can all you do is download Nextcloud. You can turn on the folders you want to sync, and you can like wipe your OS every time you want. Easy. Nextcloud syncs right back up. You got all the folders you actually want on your machine. It also makes for a great like circular, redundant backup solution for really, really important data. You can have it on every device. And then this is like the cream of the crop. I love Image. If you guys haven't seen it or used it before, I don't think it's open source. I forget. I'm really bad at confirming this. It is open source. So they operate on a donation option. You get literally nothing for donating other than a little banner that said you paid for the product in your little web app. Image is insane. So I wanted to move off of Google, and Google Photos was a big thing I've been using for like a decade. I couldn't find a good solution until I found this. So I'll show some screenshots of why I think it's impressive. It's got a really impressive mobile app. I think it also supports two-factor. I just forget because I'm always signed in. Super easy backup solutions again. And if you don't, what did I put? Don't want to self-host. Oh yeah, there's other like service versions that aren't Image. They're similar products to Google Photos, but I honestly like insist that you go out and try to mess with this. So Image has better machine learning. This is my own experience. I don't have a graphics card in my server. Image has better machine learning than Google Photos does. So this is, I think I searched broken red Miata, and it gave me, I don't have Google Photos examples of this. I would get like 50% of the actual car, in Google Photos. It's kind of impressive. Again, like it has context of my dog's name. It's all self-hosted. It's all private. I put my dog's name in here, and I get my dog every single time. And then again, smoked meats, every single one. Google Photos could not do that, and I'm impressed that this, without a graphics card, did the machine learning to figure this out. This is not image. This is Docker. This is just an example of like everything I'm running a couple databases. And again, I promise this wasn't a home lab talk. I have much more home lab than I displayed here, but these are like the production things that I think are really, really interesting. Final mentions. All right, this is going to be abrasive colored, I think. Let's see. No, it wasn't as bad as I expected. It's worse on my screen. Hosting your own domain. I own ccaves.net. You can email that email. I will get it. Hosting your own domain is super cool. So what it gives you is the ability to float from email provider, such and such. I lived on Gmail for a while. I tested M365 for a month. I moved to Proton Mail. I had zero disruption in email. Like if it costs $12 a year to own a domain, you can send as whatever names you want. You just have to set it up in there. It's real world experience. You get to understand and learn about SPF, DMARC, DKIM records, which any cybersecurity person should have a fundamental grab on. And it just keeps you vendor agnostic. You can move wherever you want, and no one's ever going to know where you're coming from unless they're watching your MX records. Again, privacy is politically charged. All of these things are things you can do to help yourself. At the end of the day, legislation is going to be what's most important. I think I have a topic in here if anyone's heard of the EU save video games. I'll talk about that for a moment. Yeah, exactly. Stop killing games. I had this in here before I had the information from Kyle, but Google/Apple Maps/ any map service was kind of an enigma for a while to me. I still need to test graphene to make sure to see that this is true. But if you run a phone without Google services or without Apple services, you can't use Google Maps. And like mankind survived without Google Maps for a long time, but it's really useful. So I don't want to not use it. I don't want to use MapQuest or a paper map. Yeah. Sorry? Oh, yeah. Map solutions, if it's not Google or Apple, they just tend to suck. Like, you can go back to a Garmin GPS. That'll probably get you what you need, but it doesn't give you a lot of the good data that you get out of Google and Apple Maps. Yeah. What do I do about modern cars that phone home all the time? Does anyone that knows me want to answer that? I don't own modern cars. I own anything older than 2005, and if it's too smart, I break it. Like I have 2 non-running cars right now. So I guess my wife's car is a modern Subaru, which has what is it? It's like the call home feature that's vulnerable, and I actually want to mess with that, but I don't drive modern cars. That's a hobby thing though too for me. Yeah. What would I recommend about? I don't know. I don't have a solution to that because like it's kind of an abrasive answer, but like this is a totally different topic, and I can talk to you about this after. But buy an old car. It's cheaper. If you have to replace the engine, it's still cheaper than a car payment. That's my opinion. Used cars are king. DNS over HTTPS. It's an easy thing. If you guys aren't running Pi-hole at home, you can take data away from your ISP. Like this is kind of jumping over everything else. But if you don't want to run a VPN for something, or you just want constant data privacy, run a Pi-hole, set it up for DNS over HTTPS. Mediacom, Metronet, whoever you're running can't then at least see some of that traffic. Easy. Also, real-world experience. You can host it on a Pi. Cloudflare. I called Cloudflare out earlier. I love Cloudflare. I still don't wholly trust Cloudflare with my data because they have a lot of free products. So I do use tunnels for a few things. I just thought I'd give them an honorable mention because they are doing pro security and pro data privacy things. Yeah. Are you, sorry, it's hard to hear, but are you referring to like, am I concerned that my data is passing through their network with tunnels? Yes. It's accepted risk. It's really easy to host out of them. I have a few, like, I'm not going to get into what I'm hosting out of them, but I have a few things out of them that I'm not really worried about that traffic. And then how much do I spend for privacy? I thought this was kind of the base of my talk originally, and I didn't want to focus it around this, but I still needed to come back to it. I pay $8 a month for Proton Mail. I pay $5 a month for Mullvad. It's not consistent. I don't use Mullvad constantly because I do have access to Proton VPN free version with my package. So if I just in a pinch need to use that, I can. I do use Google Drive. If you guys were, I think it was 2 months ago I gave a talk. I only use Google Drive because I encrypt my backups and then ship them up with rclone. So they don't really have that data. They just have like my Google document data. Cloudflare domain name, $11.84 a month. Again, get yourself a domain name. It's sick. And self-hosted. Yeah, so I did the math on the self-hosted. My lab pulls about 150 watts on average. So it was like 14, 15 bucks for the entire month, not including hardware. It's a totally different beast. So yeah, total 39 bucks a month, but I don't know. This is my hobby. And final questions. Cool. Yeah. Sorry, I'm having trouble. Just AWS in general. AWS, self-hosting out of AWS, self-hosting out of Azure, self-hosting out of any of those products kind of falls under the same. So I didn't really get into this, but I dabbled with email out of 365 for a month. And I came to the conclusion that it was a great product. I wanted to use it because I could play with things like Defender for Endpoint, stuff like that. But the reason I was making some of these changes was purely privacy. And at the end of the day, I just don't trust Amazon, and I don't trust, Azure. It's easy enough to have some cheap hardware sitting around. Like, I built my home lab a few years ago, but before that, it was free hardware that I collected. It's easy enough to do that. If you don't have the space for that, I can understand. That's the risk you have to kind of juggle for yourself. Any other questions? BitChat? Wait, I heard about BitChat earlier, and I don't remember what it is, so please remind me. Oh. Is it private? Is it secure? No one knows yet? I don't know. I have no opinions on BitChat. I remember when I read about it earlier, I was like, that's neat, but I didn't, that was it. Like, I read like 2 sentences, and then I squirreled out. So, yeah. Anything else? All right. Thank you.